Let's be honest, submitting a senior manager application to the FCA can feel like you're walking on a tightrope, right? One tiny slip-up, and suddenly you're looking at months of delays. The whole process for these key leadership roles is incredibly complex. The scrutiny is off the charts. So how on earth do you make sure you get a smooth, fast approval?
Well, that's exactly where specialists like Compliance Consultant and their brand, the Compliance Doctor, come into the picture. Their whole mission is right there in the tagline: making compliance work. They guide firms just like yours through all the tricky stuff, from governance reviews to those all-important FCA authorizations.
So let's really dive into what makes this process such a headache. This isn't just about filling out forms. It's a massive test of your firm's leadership and its governance, and you can bet the FCA is going to look at every single detail.
Which really brings us to the big question you have to ask yourself. Is your next application actually ready for that kind of intense scrutiny? Because even what seems like a simple oversight can end up having some pretty major consequences. And believe me, the consequences of getting it wrong, they are very real. A badly prepared application doesn't just eat up your time, it completely kills your momentum. And it all starts with some serious delays. So just how long are we talking about here? What's the typical waiting time that most people in the industry just have to, well, put up with?
For most firms, you're looking at a waiting game of 8 to 12 weeks. I mean, think about that. That's almost 3 months, where a critical leadership role is just sitting in limbo, which can directly mess with your company's strategy and your day-to-day operations.
But the risk is so much bigger than just waiting around. A flawed application, that can set off major project delays, it can drain your internal resources, and it puts your whole firm under a regulatory microscope. And in the worst-case scenario, an outright rejection. That's why getting it right the very first time isn't just a nice-to-have, it's an absolute must. Okay, so enough about the problem. What if you could just bypass all of that uncertainty? Let's take a look at a proven, practical solution that can completely flip the script on this. Just like this. This is what getting it right the first time actually looks like in the real world. An application went in right before the holidays and was fully approved by January 8th. And get this, with 0 questions from the FCA. The client said it all. The methodology in these packs works. And this is the methodology they're talking about, the SMF Submission Packs from Compliance Consultant. They're a whole suite of professional templates and services that are basically engineered from the ground up for one thing: getting your senior manager applications approved successfully. And what's really great here is that this is not a one-size-fits-all deal. You get to choose the exact level of support your firm actually needs, depending on how complex the role is and what kind of resources you have internally. So you've got 3 really clear options. The Toolkit gives you all the essential docs for more straightforward applications. Then there's the Professional Pack. This is our most popular one, which gives you a huge 50-page guide, all 17 templates, plus a guide on how to avoid the most common rejection reasons. And if you want a completely hands-off approach, the full service option means the team manages the entire thing for you, right up to the final submission.
Now, let's talk about the numbers that really define this success. First up, 12. Just 12 working days to get an approval. That is a tiny fraction of the industry standard.
Next up, and honestly, this is the most important number of all, 0. That's exactly how many questions the FCA came back with. A big fat 0. That tells you the submission was so clear, so comprehensive, that there was just no room for any doubt. And finally, 17. So how do you get to that 0 questions result? Well, that's where this number comes in. 17 is the number of professional templates in the Professional Pack that get you there. It's a complete framework that covers every single angle, from skills gap analysis to handover plans. So let's bring it all home. What does all of this actually mean for your firm? It means you can finally take control of the application process. It means you can get your key people approved and in their roles much, much faster. At the end of the day, that's the promise. When you use a proven, structured methodology like this, you can prepare applications that meet the FCA's high standards head-on. And that leads to faster approvals with fewer questions, or maybe even no questions at all. So if you're ready to completely transform your firm's application process and you want to get rid of the cost of all that delay and uncertainty, the next step is really simple. Give the Compliance Doctor a call on the number you see here, or just book a discovery call online to find the right solution for your firm.